arkadaşlar. Evet, burası şirketin çatısı. Size buradan yayın yapacağız. Hay. Etrafı göstereyim. Burası Periscope'un çatısı. Aşağıda ofisten başladık. Periscope firması. Birazdan Kayvon gelecek, dediğim gibi. Twitter'a ait Periscope, bağlantısı odur. Kayvon katılacak bize. San Francisco'da güneşli bir gün. Evet. Şöyle oturabiliriz sanırım. Hey. Evet, günaydın arkadaşlar.
How do you say hello in Turkish?
Merhaba.
Merhaba.
There are a lot of
Hey guys.
Farsi words. They are saying hi from Ankara.
Hello, Ankara.
They start asking
Merhaba.
questions already. They are saying that Periscope is going to be banned in Turkey. Is that true?
I hope not. We will make sure we do what we can to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yes.
That would suck, as we say in English.
Evet, yani I forget to translate.
Hi,
Olmaması için.
Kayvon from Istanbul. I understood that one. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. They're saying you're too young.
Wow. How old do you think I am?
Evet, kaç olmasını bekliyordunuz bilmiyoruz ama.
What does being too young even mean? I don't understand.
Yeah.
How are you, bro? Also, understood that one. I'm good, bro.
No, he's not Turkish. They're asking if you're Turkish. He's not Turkish.
Same neck of the woods, though.
Yeah. Yakın bir yerden diyor.
Did you say kumbaya? Is that what you said?
And I said it's from a close.
I'm not 30.
Yeah. Antalya, Turkey's Miami. That's a nice.
That's good.
That's good.
Lots of clubs, beach scene, always warm.
Yeah, exactly. Malatya. Okay,
Where's
cool.
Malatya?
It's kind of the eastern side. I think there's a border with Iraq, maybe. Oh
Wow.
my God,
It's pretty east.
Yeah, it's pretty east.
The furthest east I've been in,
South
that
east.
is my name, yes. The furthest east I've been in Turkey is Cappadocia.
Oh, nice.
Went to Gorem.
You went to Göreme?
Yeah,
Did you take the hot air balloons?
I tried to, but the weather was really bad, so they canceled it.
Oh, I see. Okay, they're asking why it freezes every once in a while.
If you're using Android, there's actually a bug which causes the freezing. Sorry about that. We fixed it. We'll be submitting a fix very soon. What did they say? You're laughing.
Because the mistake I made, Malatya is in the east, I know that, but it has nothing to do with Iraq border, so my bad, I apologize. Özür dilerim arkadaşlar. Tamam, Malatya'nın nerede olduğunu bilmiyorum, benim hatam, özür dilerim. Okay, they're asking why there's no landscape broadcast.
There will be soon. I'm sorry about that as well. That one, we just, we don't have time to build everything the first time, man. We're working on it.
Evet, yani küçük bir ekibiz diyor. Küçük bir ekip olduğumuz için her şeyi hemen hızlı yapmaya vaktimiz olmuyor diyor. Ama kesinlikle geliyor diyor. That was something actually I was doing this weekend. The landscape broadcast.
You were doing it in landscape?
Yeah. Because I was using my chest mount on the bike. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, previously they asked a lot of questions about can Periscope do anything?
Translate, please. I think he's, yeah. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they're just saying that there are no camels in Turkey. No, I don't think he has that impression.
I've been to Turkey, guys.
Yeah, Türkiye'de oldu öyle. Türkiye'yi zannetmiyor. Yani develerin falan gezdiği bir yer zannetmiyor. Merak etmeyin, rahat olun. Yeah, they were asked. Wow, he says yeah, I guess that's in English.
Oh,
You can
that's
read
awesome.
that.
You're a blind user of Periscope. Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you're having a good time using it. We're trying to make Periscope a lot better.
Okay, Türkiye'deki
accessible.
yasakla ilgili hemen söyleyeyim. Türkiye'de yasaklanmaması için elimizden geleni yapıyoruz. Öyle bir şey yok şu anda diyor zaten ama yani umarız olmaz dedi. Öyle bir cevap verdi. O çok genel bir soru. Daha spesifik olursa yayın politikası. Okay, so a lot of questions about like, is Periscope gonna do anything about kind of broadcast that includes like nudity or similar stuff?
Well, if you guys don't know, nudity and pornography is not actually allowed on Periscope. I think there are a lot of platforms on the internet that do a good job of separating what we call not safe for work broadcasts.
Yeah.
Twitter is a good example, right? If you have content on Twitter that's not safe for work, Twitter does a really good job of hiding it and making sure that if you want to consume that kind of content that you can, but that users are given warning that, hey, this is about to be not safe for work. Doing that really well takes a lot of work to do right, and we haven't had the time to invest in doing that, and so that's why right now we just don't allow Periscope. We don't want someone who's either of a certain age or doesn't want to be seeing not safe for work content to just open up a broadcast and suddenly see pornography. It's just not a good thing to be surprised about, which is why we work hard to make sure that we keep that off the platform and keep it.
Yeah, so we're actively already working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Tercüme edeceğim, biraz müsaade edin. Kesinlikle zaten öyle bir şey istemiyoruz diyor ve şu anda elimizden geleni yapmaya çalışıyoruz diyor. İleride belki Twitter'daki gibi işte o tür içeriği normal içerikten ayırmak için belli şeyler olabilir. Hani uyarılar olabilir vesaire ama şu anda zaten o seviyede bile değil. Şu anda direkt aslında haberleri olduğu zaman yasaklıyorlar, engelliyorlar. Ama tabii ki bu çok fazla manuel bir işlem olduğu için kolay değil o kadar. Yani otomatik olarak hemen yasaklayamıyorlar. O konuda kullanıcıların şeylerine bakıyor, bildirimlerine bakıyor ama yani engellemeye çalışıyorlar o tür yayınları.
Someone asked in English how many engineers we have at HQ fixing bugs. We have a total of 22 employees right now, and approximately half of them are engineers, and everyone works on a combination of building new stuff, fixing old stuff, just making sure that the product works great. So roughly half of the 22 people are engineers.
Any other platforms coming up?
Right now, it's iOS, it's Android, and it's web. Web is our version of everything else. So, yeah.
Why didn't it start as a separate thing other than Twitter? Oh,
it did. I mean, it is still a separate thing. I know we're technically owned by Twitter, but it's a separate app. You don't need to have a Twitter account to use it. The reason why we're part of Twitter is because we think Twitter helps make Periscope better. It also gives us the resources to focus on making Periscope a great product. But we view it very much as separate.
Another question, can people participate with audio, the commentators?
No, I mean, that's something that by design we didn't allow that just because we want it to be the broadcaster's show. I mean, you're sharing what you're seeing with other people. I think there may be some other ways we can incorporate the audience more, but doing that is very delicate, and so we may experiment with it, but for now we thought this was a really great place to start.
Nice. A lot of compliments to you. They think you look like Turkish.
Well, that's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
Do you remember first live chat? The first Periscope? The first Periscopes were very, very boring. At least you would think so, because it was basically the five of us sitting in our office broadcasting, trying to see. We're like, is this working? We flipped the camera. Anyway, that's a demo.
Setting up my Periscope.
That was the first. Just setting up my Periscope.
Just setting up your Periscope.
Is he Italian? Is he Turkish? No. Is he pardon? I don't know what pardon means. How long did it take to make the app? Asks ZZEY Potties. We started the company roughly around February of last year, and we launched in March of this year. So, it took a little bit over a year.
And that was just on iOS.
That was just on iOS.
Initially,
we launched in Android a couple months later.
Yeah.
But we had something that looks very similar to what you're looking at well before March, but it just took a while for us to feel like it was ready to release to the world. And I'm glad we waited that long and really perfected it, because I think it's one of the reasons why as many people use it today as they do now.
Evet arkadaşlar, ben çevireyim onu hemen. Yani işte o bahsettiği süre de zaman aldı diyor ama aslında yani çalışan bir versiyonu çok daha önce hazır olmasına rağmen tam yeterince mükemmel ya da rahat hissetmedikleri için beklediler. Yani bayağı detaylara önem verdikleri için tam anlamıyla launch olması biraz zaman aldı. Ve ilk başta iOS'te yaptılar sadece. Daha sonra Android sürümü yakın zamanda çıktı.
Do you prefer Canada or America? Asks Canada over. Well, I think we're both biased there, buddy. I'm from America, you're from Canada, so I've actually never been to Canada. I'd love to go.
All right.
I'll leave my answer as that.
Where are you now? Well, we're in San Francisco
right now. Hence
okay,
the clouds.
So there was another question. They're asking, are you aware from Ekol Hoca'ya? His name is Ekol. The high school teacher I was telling you about.
Yeah. I'm only aware of him because Ibrahim told me, and I think the story of how he's using Periscope is awesome. We always wondered whether Periscope can be used for educational purposes, and seeing, hearing about someone who's using it to essentially teach people who aren't necessarily in the same place in the same classroom is really, really great to hear. What I love about the story of how he's using it is that it's interactive, right? It's like people can, he asks a question and about geometry or whatever, and people can suggest an answer or answer it, and he can either validate that it was correct or not. I just think that interactivity is really awesome, and I loved Khan Academy while I was in college, and just appreciating what Sal Khan did.
Where did you go to college? There was one question.
I went to Stanford University, not too far from here. It's about 40 miles from San Francisco. But it's hard not to appreciate Khan Academy as a concept, and taking that even further and making it interactive, I think is really, really powerful. I did not go to Turkish college.
No, you didn't go to Turkish college.
If I did, I probably would speak Turkish better than I do now, which is nothing.
But he's been to Turkey, so he knows Turkey. Arkadaşlar, Türkiye'de bulunduğu, birkaç kere Türkiye'yi biliyor. Evet, az önce söylediklerini tercüme edeyim ben. What did you study?
I studied computer science at Stanford. How Periscope earns money? It doesn't. I'm sorry. We're focused on making Periscope something that people love to use.
That's an interesting question. What do you think you did better than your rivals to win the market or competition, something like that?
I think, well, one is we were never the first live streaming app, which I think is really important because we were able to learn a lot from what other live streaming apps did well and what they didn't do well. The other thing is that we didn't really start Periscope to be a live streaming app. That wasn't, we didn't sit down one day and go, let's build a live streaming app. We wanted to build what we can best describe as a teleportation device. We wanted to be able to see the world in real time. I wanted to see Turkey, actually. I was always planning on going to Istanbul, and I had a flight booked and a year and a half ago in 2013. I'm sure you all remember the Gezi Park protests and the Taksim Square protests, and I remember sitting in San Francisco thinking to myself, I want to see what's happening right now in Gezi Park. And there's no way for me to do that. I can't watch, even if you watch CNN or some other TV station, you get a very sensationalized account of what's happening. I wanted to see through the eyes of someone who was actually there, not through a media company, and that was how the idea of Periscope was born. So for all of you in Turkey, and I know there are many of you who's Periscope, you guys have a special place in my heart and in our heart because it's very close to the genesis of why we started Periscope. Anyway, to answer your question, that's what motivated us to create Periscope, and I think when that's your motivation, rather than just like creating another live streaming app, it made us think a lot about what would make people love using the product, right? What would make it a really fun experience that everyday people like you and me would use, not just media companies who want another live streaming tool. And so I think that's what allowed us to discover mechanics like the hearts that are flowing on the screen right now, and everything else. How did we give the name Periscope? We think that this is a virtual Periscope for the world. It felt like the perfect name. We're creating a Periscope that lets you peer into distant lands. And plus we had a friend whose name is Dirk, who recommended the name, and ever since he recommended it, we were like, okay, there's really no better name than that.
Cool. somebody is asking, is Periscope going to replace TV?
I don't know. I don't think replacing TV isn't really the right question, because I think TV will always exist in the sense that there will be a really large screen in your living room that you'll watch. I think what you watch on that TV and how you watch it will change. But a lot of the companies that you use right now to engage with your television will stay around. But I think that technology and the approach will change as it always does with technology.
Interesting. Why stuck to Twitter? Why not open to all platforms? I guess
it isn't
signing up.
It isn't
you don't
stuck
have to
Twitter. You don't need a Twitter account. My mom doesn't have a Twitter account, and she can use Periscope by signing up with her phone number. We thought that was really important to add early.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amara.
And there are also a lot of questions about, can you fast forward when you're replaying?
Right now you can't, but we know that's something that's challenging. It's hard to watch replays sometimes, and we know that, and we're thinking of how to make that better. So thanks for asking about that, and believe me, we're thinking a lot about that and working on it. And thanks for your patience.
Arkadaşlar, az önceki açıkladığı şey mesela Gezi protestosuna örnek verdi de, yani o tür bir olay mesela çok evet ilham veren şeylerden bir tanesi. Yani şu anda Amerika'da da benzer şeyler oluyor, işte farklı yerlerde protestolar vesaire. Olayı oradaymış gibi bizzat yaşamak ve izlemek ilhamlarından bir tanesi yani. Evet. How are you doing on time?
Good.
We can kind of get like last few questions. Arkadaşlar, son birkaç soruyu alalım. 2-3 dakika içinde ayrılmamız gerekecek buradan. Diyeceğiniz şeyler varsa alabiliriz.
So many hearts.
Yeah. Ya ona cevap verdik. İleri alma üzerinde çalışıyor. Evet, farkındayız dedi. Sadece küçük bir ekip olduğu için hem her şeyi çok hızlı yapamıyorlar. They keep asking all you. Okay, how many programming languages do you know? He studied at Stanford. He replied that.
I probably know like 4. I'm not a particularly good programmer anymore. It's been a long time since I focused on programming. But I know a few.
Yeah, is there going to be a two-way broadcast?
A two-way broadcast.
Or a group broadcast?
I don't think Periscope is ever going to be like a group video chat system. I just think there are other apps that are better at that. What we may experiment with is ways to give broadcasters more tools to be creative, and whether that means involving other people in the audience or other cameras. I think it's an interesting concept, but I don't think we want to get into like the video chat game, because I think that's just not what our app does.
Yeah, so they're asking about the focus problem when Ekol Hoca is doing his classes. I already told you about that, and he sent me his operating system version, app version, all that stuff. I think it's a Samsung Note 3 phone. Arkadaşlar, I found the bug. Haberleri var, bahsettim focus probleminden. I guess you guys are working on it.
Yeah, the focus is a hard one because all the phones have their own strengths and weaknesses with focusing, especially Android. And we don't have a manual focus feature right now because we use our taps for something else. But that's something that we can work on and have some ideas on to fix. So thanks for flagging it for us.
Yeah. Evet arkadaşlar, üzerinde çalışıyoruz dedi. Low bandwidth broadcast back in India. We can't even Periscope many times.
Thank you for asking. That's one that really is important to us. We've actually spent a lot of time perfecting the video streaming aspect of the broadcasting process to make it as possible to broadcast in various network conditions as possible. The thing is, there is a minimum threshold that we need in order to do a broadcast without having other people have really bad connection. And so right now, the absolute minimum internet speed you need to have to broadcast is like 250 to 300 kilobit, and even then it's a little bit risky. Because if your internet drops for a little bit, other people get that loading screen. So I think over time we'll get more of an opportunity to improve that. Both software helps us do that, Apple and Google will improve their the software and hardware and the devices that help us do basically better compression. And then hopefully the network speeds get better, but to a certain extent we're limited by just the realities of the network conditions. And I fully appreciate that means you can't use Periscope in certain countries or certain cities or even places in California. Sometimes there's no reception, so it's a hard problem.
Cool. Yeah, they are saying that we heard about Periscope because of Ekol Hoca'ya.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You gotta meet this guy.
Yeah, he's actually here. He's responding. He's
he's in here?
But yeah, I'll do an intro maybe on Periscope. You guys can follow each other.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And you can say thank you in Turkish. Teşekkürler.
Teşekkür?
Teşekkür. Yes.
Funny. Farsi is teşekkür.
It's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone asked about their phone burning. Sorry about that.
Burning?
No. Like the phone, when you're broadcasting, it gets really hot.
Yeah.
Again, this depends from device to device. Some devices get a lot hotter than others. Thank you guys. It's really nice to meet you too.
All right.
So that's something that we'll try and improve, but to a certain extent, again, if you're broadcasting for like an hour, it gets pretty hot.
Maybe a tablet could work better for that.
The iPads definitely, and I don't know about the Android tablets, but the iPads definitely don't get as hot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. All right. Insta Lively, they claim to do low bandwidth broadcast.
A lot of people do lower bandwidth broadcasts. There's a few constraints for us. One, we always broadcast at this resolution, so that's one constraint. The other is we can compress it even more and have the bit rate be really, really, really low. But we want all periscopes to be at least a certain threshold of quality, because if they're under that, it just looks really bad. When you blow it up on the web or you're watching it on an iPad or an iPhone or whatever, we want it to look at least a certain amount of good. And so it's a tough decision we make, but that's why if you're under that lower limit, we don't let you broadcast. We say, sorry, your connection isn't good enough. Other platforms may choose to have their limits be elsewhere, but that's kind of just what we've chosen.
All right, speaking of burning,
yeah, it's pretty hot here.
We are actually sitting right under the sun. So thanks a lot everyone.
Thank you guys for joining.
That's it. Teşekkürler arkadaşlar. Biz kapatıyoruz. Onların hepsine cevap verdik. They call you the new Zuckerberg.
Mashallah. I got that one. Nice.
All right. Thanks a lot everyone.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.